find it written in the sky. You can't buy to get to it.
Please tell us more about yourself and how did you land yourself here?
So I was just interested in renewables, I think from 2011. And when it got explained to me, I looked at the value chain and I realized it has a lot of opportunities and the technologies are evolving. So being someone who truly wants to be challenged every now and then, I thought this is an industry that I can get involved in. And that's how I then started researching courses that existed outside South Africa for me to truly understand it. And I looked at it as I want to be an IPP. That was the first instinct.
That was your first instinct.
That was the first
And it just worked pretty well for you.
I didn't want to just install. I didn't want to just be known as the guy with solar. I wanted a holistic approach. I wanted to be someone who truly now understands the process, the technology, the people, the planet. And I wanted it to be a holistic picture to me first. So for me to look at that, I realized I had to be an IPP.
An IPP, and this is your specialty. That should be your unique selling point, right?
Definitely. So we are developers who care about people and the environment. And so all our projects are designed around caring for people. Let them benefit. How is the environment benefiting from the technology? It's always defined. All over the world, it's known, your carbon emissions and all those. But we now define it in the project as we design it. So now we have different steps of designing. We're not just solar installers. When we get a business case, we look at it from a point of saying, is it sustainable? Who is it going to support in terms of the socioeconomic? And on top of that, what else can we do? And that's how we work through our processes of design. So we do solar installations currently. We do solar installations for households. We do for commercial properties and industrial properties. But we also develop large-scale projects. So those projects that connect into the Eskom grid, we build those. We recently completed on our own, without assistance, a 90 megawatt project development for the city of Polokwane municipality. And when I say we completed, I mean we took the project from ideation to now almost reaching financial close as a company on our own self-funding. The process, all of it. And we currently own 100% of that project. So for us, it's a milestone that we have never heard of in South Africa, and for us to support ourselves. So I think what has happened is, even in our modeling, we looked at IPPs as an IPP us. If we were to remain in that scale of an IPP like all the others do, because they're foreign funded, they have all the money to remain there and develop a project and make it happen in 4 years. We ran out of money in the first 2 years of trying to do that. That's why it was important that we looked at your commercial and industrial, because we can turn around those projects in 2-3 days. You look at a household, you can do it in 1 day. But also, I think for us, what's unique is, even though we're doing households, we're doing high-end products only. Because imagine having 200 installations in 200 homes, and with low-end products that are not supported by the OEM, I'll never sleep at night. I think the quality of the product. I think more than anything, the quality of the product.
The quality of the product.
And the quality of work we put out. So that's why I keep saying we're not just installers. Before we come to your house and install, we come first and do an assessment. We look at where are we pulling cables. If we're putting panels on the roof, where will the cables flow to your DB box? How are we going to put what we're proposing to you? How will it look? It's also very important. The aesthetics of it. We don't want to put a battery here and have cables running, and sometimes you are not home and your kids are running around and somebody touches something. We're talking 240 volts, So we do designs. After we come do an assessment, we even do a 3D design print. We put panels on your roof. We send the picture to you to say, this is how we think the panels should be sitting. This is the front of your house. This is where panels are sitting.
For the approval.
Yes. So that somebody because you don't climb your roof, how do you know where we're going to put them? You don't usually go up to your roof.
Right.
So the 3D design is to say, before we even come to say this side, some people immediately say, hey, I don't want my neighbors to see panels. Can you use the second roof on the side? Is it still compatible? So we give you that opportunity. Some people say when we're on the swimming pool, we don't want to see panels. So there's different ways of customizing it, and that's what we're known for. We custom make it. We just don't assume that we know, and we know it's your house, it's your property. You need to have the final say as to where they are sitting. So all those elements are what we're uniquely known for, and at least we don't go around installing and thinking every call is an opportunity. There are so many calls that are not opportunities but they're an opportunity to teach. That's what we're passionate about. So if you call us and you can't afford the product we're telling you about, we also say on the low-end product, just look at that and that and that. We heard they're good. And then you can look at another service provider. So the honesty around it also matters. I think our biggest success is to give back. And I think the biggest success is to make sure that we are not the only ones who are benefiting from this. And like I said, with the programs, with the Second Chance program, we also are proud of the fact that we have come this far by redesigning ourselves, our own model, to get us here, instead of relying on support from everywhere else. Because if we had waited for support, we would still be waiting. If we didn't redesign our own models, we would still be waiting for support. So I think the best thing we have done is to now hit a brick wall and say, do we dig underneath and come out the other way? Or do we go the left side? Is there a way around this brick wall? Or the right side? And when we look at all opportunities and say, let's dig underneath and come out that way, we start digging intentionally. And we have always come out on the other side of the wall, smiling. So I think the most beautiful thing is to always try and find a way around that brick wall. So we have to scale. I mean, for every company, the opportunities become bigger. We have been growing organically, and the opportunities have become way bigger than we anticipated at this time. I mean, you draw up your vision and you say, by 2025, we want to achieve this. We're at a point where our long-term goal is our current goal right now. We're looking at it and saying, we thought we would be there in 2024, but here's 2023 and we're here. Now we have to restructure, reorganize ourselves, and try and take that opportunity with both hands. So in scaling such, there is no support in South Africa for such. The best you can get is a loan. And once you stop paying, it's a problem. We need to employ more people. We need to get more vehicles. We see where this is going. But there's no commitment from industry to support someone like us. Because we might get to a level of them. And that's a no in their space.
So are you saying the solar systems, the companies that are producing this, right? You are more supported internationally instead of the South African government to support?
We have never had any government support at all.
You have never had any government support at all? And the international one?
We have, and with the international ones, it's more of capacity building. It's more of conversations to redesign models. So we haven't accepted any financial assistance at all from anyone. Well, none was offered. But reality is the international support we get is, yes, I was in Germany for that period and I met a lot of German companies. And on top of that, I have been with the German Chamber of Commerce in South Africa. And because you are an alumni, You are in platforms that define project going forward in SADC and everywhere. So in that way, we have now partners that help us with defining where our business is going. And I think, what's beautiful is we have also launched in Botswana recently. Last year, we launched in Botswana. We're starting to do a few projects in Botswana. And on the 27th of April, we are launching in Zambia as Jeka Energy. Yes. So, those models are assisted by international conversations, not funds. When we're having conversations with the Chamber of Commerce, they say, hey, we're in Botswana and this is happening in Botswana. Now we get to understand the opportunities around in that country. How do we get involved? And then you move now, you're talking about Zambia, you're talking about Lesotho. So we are going to evolve into the SADC region. By end of next year, we'll be doing different projects in different SADC countries. And the model is the same that we have in South Africa, is to say, how do we support our own projects?
And in Zambia, are you going to be collaborating or are you going solo?
No, everywhere we collaborate. So even in Botswana, I was in Botswana for 2 weeks recently, just to look at who is capacitated well enough in that country to partner with us. And we've identified partners. That's why we're now doing projects, is because from a capacity level, we come in and say, we've done 100 kilowatt already. We have done a 1 megawatt already. Someone in Botswana who's an entrepreneur who's never done a project has an opportunity to do that project. We then support as a big brother and say, okay, so here's how we design it. Here's a 3D print. This is where you put the panels, so that when they when they present their business case, it's as professional as ever. And if we needed to implement, we are again the big brother to implement. So we've done that in South Africa successfully with other companies. And we believe if we take the same model to different African countries, we'll definitely make it work. Because we're also living a very needed skill. We don't want to support you and say we own you. We're supporting you in your own projects. So that by project 4, if you can design, you choose whether to work with us or not. And it's not bad blood, because we want you to start empowering someone else. So we don't want to get involved to just show you how it's done and quickly do it and then make your money. No, we want you to understand the processes. And once you do, we check, can you stand on your own? Because once you do that, someone else needs you. So that's the model we take into countries. We are not there to just make money. Yes, money needs to be made to sustain the business, but the model is very strict in terms of making sure that we transfer skills. Yeah, so, we also want to get into different technologies. I'm well versed in biogas and biomass, but also we want to get into the electric vehicles boom. Yeah, what we did is in 2018, if I'm not mistaken, we visited BYD in China, and we spent about 2 weeks at their campus, seeing how they manufacture electric vehicles, seeing what the production lines are, what are the components they're using, and all those, just to understand the industry. And when we came back, we made a conscious decision to be involved in that space, mainly because we truly understand what it will take. We've looked at the value chain. Where are we plugging ourselves into the value chain when this boom happens? So we are ready. We're having conversations with different manufacturers, not just putting up chargers for cars. We want to be in the manufacturing sector of such. So we're having conversations with different players to see how do we become part of that manufacturing chain. And that is currently happening. And in the not so long future, I truly believe that we would have found ourselves an OEM that would definitely work with us.
And how's the capacity so far?
We are, because we're professionals, it's easy to look at something and say, this is small, how do we make it big? And in that conversation, we want to be involved in the design of making it big. So when I say the value chain, we've identified where to fit into the value chain of EVs. And we have created our own ecosystem with other professionals to say, this is how we're going to approach a manufacturing plant or OEM for electric vehicles, and this is our proposal to them. We, as a collaborative unit, can do this for them from here to there. So that approach is also a lot of collaboration.